Hello and welcome to this video. And on this video, I'm going to be going through 5 idiot musicians and I'm going to be ranking them for stupidness. Right, these aren't evil musicians. They're not even annoying. They're just idiots. And we know they're idiots. There's so many idiot musicians out there that I thought, I could have done 10, I could have done 20, but we'd have been here all day, right? So I thought I'd do a nice short video, just look at 5 of them, try and keep this down to half an hour. So you're ready for this? Because this is the sort of stuff you like, isn't it? So you're ready to go. So very simple rules to this one. They're basically annoying. There will be one specific thing I find annoying about them. I will report on that annoying thing and then I will give you some sort of in-depth and very intelligent cultural critique of what I feel that means to mankind. The fact that they have this annoying trait. In reality, there will be no deeper meaning. You will just be here out of a combination of nosiness and hate. And of course, nosiness and hate is what makes the world go round, doesn't it? So you're all ready for some nosiness and hate? Yes, you are. So let's go straight in at number 5. And at number 5, I have Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, yeah, that little pop bloke. You know the one I mean? The one who got famous when he was young, you know, who discovered him? Some rappy person. It could have been P. Diddy, actually. Could have been P. Diddy, couldn't it? Just discovered Justin Bieber. Now, Justin Bieber is famous for making songs such as, well, he made that one that Ed Sheeran wrote, didn't he? What was that one called? Love Yourself. You know that? Remember that one? That was Justin Bieber, wasn't it? Can you think of any songs that Justin Bieber's written? Can you put some in the comments down below, please, if you can remember? Because like all modern pop stars, although they're like billionaires, right, and they got like this worldwide massive sort of reach over the whole of culture, and they've ruined proper music for everybody with their computerized nonsense, right? And Justin Bieber's the example of such a thing. Now, I'm not saying he's not a talented musician. I'm not saying that. Right, what I'm saying is I cannot think of one song by him except for the one that Ed Sheeran wrote for him. And I think that's about 3 of Ed Sheeran's songs I can think of. I mean, Ed Sheeran could easily be on this list, but he's not because I'm going to store him up for another, you know, I'm going to be doing loads of these. You know, I think the 5 is better, isn't it? Anyway, back to Justin Bieber. So why is he annoying for? Okay. I think he's actually quite a musically talented guy. He seems to be able to sing. He could play all the instruments. He got discovered for his talent. But before you know it, he was shuffled off to me making, you know, music, which is at once designed to be taken in with people that have got the intellectual level of a sort of 7-year-old girl, but are also laced with all sorts of modern sexual innuendo. And at the moment, you feel culturally, you know, with the Grammys just happening the other few nights ago, and I will be doing a video on the Grammys, but not yet, because I just could not stick it. It's so rotten. It's rotten to the core. And they all seem so rotten, and none of us care about them anymore. Nobody cares about these celebrities. They're there all crying because their house is burnt down.
They don't understand.
And nobody cares. We don't care what you think. We don't care what your values are. Right? And Justin Bieber, poor bloke, right, is in that group as far as I'm concerned. Now, why do I find him annoying? Right, there's loads of things he's done. Didn't he spit on one of his fans at some point? Didn't he try and take his pet monkey to Germany at some point, and then when he got stuck in customs, he just left it there, you know, to wander out and do his own thing. I'm sure he's now got his own sort of podcast in Germany, the monkey has. But the reason why I put him on this list was when I was researching this. The thing I found really annoying is that he calls his fans believers. That's the reason why I find him annoying. Belieber. Are you a believer? It's just so mixed with, it's not funny. It's arrogant and presumptive. And it attaches some sort of almost religious connotations to this idiot. A believer. Now, I've obviously been calling him Justin Bieber for comedy purposes, but his actual name is Justin Bieber. And so what he's done is he's cleverly taken that surname and he's combined that with the word believer to make it into belieber, right? So if you're a Justin fan, you're a belieber. And when he went to Germany with said monkey, when he went over to Germany and he just dumped the monkey there to fend for himself in the airport, a bit like that film Terminal with Tom Hanks. Imagine Tom Hanks, but with a monkey, right? When that happened, right, he then decided to have a look around the various European tourist attractions, and he ends up going to Anne Frank's house. Anne Frank, okay? The poor girl who was stuck in this house. The Nazis were looking for all the Jews. They found her and they carted her off and she died in the bloody concentration camp. I mean, it's not funny. I mean, this is a comedy video and it's straight away I've strayed into sort of the Holocaust, which is not funny, right? But it's not about funny. See, I'm laughing. You'll think Andy's laughing at this point. Why is he laughing? Because he put Anne Frank into this. And the reason is because when Justin Bieber went to Anne Frank's house and he looked all around it and he took in that he was actually there in that house, right? Think about it. And he went in down and he signed, which they all wanted him to do. Oh, Justin, could you sign our guest book, please? You know, we have to have your name in there. You know, not that, you know, why would that be? Could bring more people down to the house. They can buy more Anne Frank pencil cases and stuff like that. They wanted him, they want the celebrity in there. So, oh, can you sign our thing? And what did he write? He wrote, I bet Anne Frank would have been a believer. This is what we have now as our celebrity class. Idiots.
They don't understand.
Absolute idiots. And all that stuff that seems dodgy and weird and not quite right and their sort of whole moral view of the world that we're supposed to take in, actually, when you step back and think about somebody writing that and not having the wherewithal to actually step back and go, it doesn't sound so good, does it? You know, well, Anne Frank could not have been a believer because she was murdered by the Nazis, Justin. Right, so that's the bright and chirpy opening to this video, right? You sort of get the idea of what's going to happen on here. Idiot musicians at number 5, Justin Bieber. And a similar musician who's an obvious idiot that has committed a similar faux pas is Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Now, Dave is above Justin Bieber because Justin Bieber is just a shallow, pointless pop star. But Dave Mustaine plays and founds and is the leader of the band Megadeth. And Megadeth are a reasonable band. And Megadeth don't write trite pop songs like Justin Bieber. What they do is they write songs that are full of thought and they deal with serious issues in a heavy metal way, you know. And so I expect something from Dave Mustaine, but I must admit, the reason why I never went wholehearted into Megadeth as a younger guy was because he didn't seem to have the sense of humour that Anthrax had. Anthrax were my favourite thrash metal band. Dave Mustaine seemed to be, as we say in the UK, too up his own bottom. And he shared this trait somewhat with Lars Ulrich, who seems to be the same way. Bombastic and self-opinionated without a sense of humour or a sense of self-parody. In other words, taking themselves too seriously. That's just Dave Mustaine all over, isn't it? But despite that, he corralled a good band around him, Megadeth, and they had great success, and they went off on tour around the world. And at one point, they arrived in Northern Ireland. Right? Now, Northern Ireland is the northern bit of the country Ireland. Right? There is also Ireland, which is the other bit, not the northern bit. Now, for our American cousins and people around the world, you may not be aware, but there has been a thing in Ireland called the Troubles. Yes, the Troubles, right? Religious-based fighting, where the Southern Islanders wanted to have their own country because they were treated so bad by the awful British, okay? Including starving them to death not letting them have their potatoes, and sending them to America as slaves. Yes, Irish slaves. Okay? Treating the Irish awful. You know, in the 1950s and 60s, when Irish immigrants were coming to London, they were met with rental places, hotels or whatever, trying to find somewhere to stay. And there would be the famous sign in the window, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, or something that sort of order. Now, Dave Mustaine, okay, if you look at him, he does have a touch of the ginger about him. So I imagine that he may well have in his ancestry some Irish, although Mustaine doesn't sound, that sounds more sort of German or something like that. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know anything about his ancestry. I don't know why I'm bringing it up. The point is, there's no way I look at it. Maybe I should have, let him off for what he said. But when he played Northern Ireland, he dedicated one of his songs to what he called the cause. Now, the cause is what they support in Southern Ireland. Okay? This is about the most idiotic thing you could do. For someone to stand in Northern Ireland and say such a thing, it's very surprising that nothing too serious happened to Dave Mustaine. And I just wonder, what is in the minds of these sorts of musicians to be so into themselves and so virtue signaling how they are performing for the cause? They're always performing for the cause, aren't they? We now have an industry around this with musicians, artists. They want to be seen as being on the side of the right side of they want to be on the right moral side, don't they? They all want it. But they don't know what the right moral side is. You can tell that. You can tell that as the Grammys. Right? Well, we'll be getting to the Grammys in the minute when we get to number one. Right? But that's the whole point. And it doesn't matter what style of music. There is someone who is always being championing the cause, the revolutionary cause. They're always on that side. They go to that side without even thinking. And that's why Dave Mustaine used those words. That's why he said, I'm going to dedicate this to the cause. I'm pretty sure he did not know what the cause was. What's the cause, Dave? Well, I don't know and I don't care, but I'm for it and I'm fighting and I'm dedicating this song to the cause. He may have been mentioning the Irish group, The Cause, with the two attractive sisters in. Now, if he'd have been doing that, and he's not even clever enough to do that, because when he said this, I'm going to dedicate this to the cause, he could have then turned around and went, no, everybody, Northern Irish people, no, not that cause. I'm on about the cause, the two girls with the bloke doing the nice stuff. But of course, he couldn't say that because he's in Megadeth, could he? But I know deep down when he goes home, he doesn't listen to heavy metal. He listens to the cause, doesn't he? I mean, they're one up from the Lighthouse family, aren't they, the cause? I prefer them to the Lighthouse family. I don't like them at all, but they've been dealt with on another video. So I think I've done Dave Mustaine, right? That one idiotic line. This is what you're going to get is one thing about, I'm going to just boil it down to one fact. Although with this next guy, there is many things that I could go for. At number 3, I have Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. Now, Fred Durst is almost like the personification of an idiot. When Nirvana had sold 30 million records with their Nevermind album, thus decapitating heavy metal and heavy rock at the knees, making it accessible to all and sundry, American youth moved over to rock music without any real understanding what it is. Yes, they all listen to their Iron Maiden albums, but they didn't get it. They'd rather have their Blink 182s and their Green Days and their Limp Bizkit. Now, I think Limp Bizkit were capable of coming up with a riff, which a lot of these bands couldn't. But over this riff, shouted in some horrible, evolved response to Anthony Kiedis trying to be a rapper on Blood Sugar Sex Magic. If you imagine that there, and then you distill that through a process of rock evolution, you end up with Fred Durst rapping over Limp Bizkit, right? It's awful. There's some cool riffs there, I've got to say. But it's, on the whole, it's awful. Okay? And they, again, as all these rock bands would do, they would stand up and have to champion the cause. They've got to be there inciting this and inciting that. But because they're idiots, Fred Durst, many a time on stage, incited his fan base to actual violence. Now, did he want that to happen? No. It's because he's an idiot. But that's not the reason why I put him on the list and why I put him up above Dave Mustaine. No way. Right? I'm not even going to put it on because he once described Vladimir Putin as a great guy with clear moral principles. That was a quote from Fred Durst. And if you go online, that will be the thing that people put forth. I don't mind that. He can have whatever opinion he wants about Putin. I don't care. Right? You've got to remember, these people have no moral backbone whatsoever. So don't expect anything. You're expecting too much from them. Now, recently, right, you have that bloke, Corey Feldman. Is that his name? You know, the one that was in all those, the child actor. And he's been out there championing all the nasty things that Hollywood does. He's actually, you know, he's been continually trying to show what a dodgy place it is and full of such dodgy characters. But recently, he's decided to form a band and go into the music world. And I don't mind him. He's not on this list. Let him do what he wants to do. It's awful. But so what? He's having a good time. Now, recently, there's been a lot of memey things going on where people have been posting up his guitar solos. Now, I don't know whether some people who are idiots think it's actually quite a good guitar solo, or we're laughing about the fact that it's a bad guitar solo. But a video was put up recently, and I saw it on Facebook, and it was basically Corey Feldman was doing... Is that his name? I don't feel like that's his name. There was two of them. One of them died, didn't they? What was his name? Anyway, forget that. If I've got it wrong, I've got another bloke on me, and I've got a picture up here, and I'll have put some sort of words to explain who I'm on about. Because I get confused when I do these, but that's neither here nor there, is it? Right, so come on, Andy, get back on track with this one. You really aren't that interested in this video, or you're not really, no. But you've got to do them, haven't you? Because they make the money, and they get all the views, they're all clicking on it, and you're going, here's this Andy guy, he normally talks about philosophy and jazz fusion and serious subjects, and he is trying to talk about Fred Durst and some bloke that he doesn't even quite know what his name is. But the point is, forgetting all that, and you may have seen through all that, right? And maybe I'm the great idiot for doing this, but it has to be done. So let's carry on. Fred Durst. So what we have with him is he was doing a gig with this bloke that I think is called Corey Feldman, right? And he's doing his guitar solo, and Fred Durst gets his chair. Did you see it? He gets his chair and he brings it out and he sits down in front of him watching the guitar solo to judge it. And I put up a comment, which was a throwaway comment at the time, and I put up the comment, Fred Durst, the world's expert in guitar solos. I put that up. English sarcasm there. Brilliant. This comment had over 1,000 likes. It chimed with people. And I think what it is that we know that Fred Durst knows nothing. Now, Fred Durst has got older, because that's not the reason why he's on the list. That's actually not the reason why he's on the list. The reason why I think he's an idiot is because as he's become an older man, he has done what a lot of older men do, and that's grow a beard. The reason why older men grow beards is because it just covers up their double chin a little bit. That's the real reason why. It makes them look older, but they look wiser, don't they? A white beard on a man does make them look wiser. But that's the real reason. But the thing is, Fred Durst, being an idiot, cannot let go of his Limp Bizkit roots. And so he tends to wear a lot of the same gear. Now, what he's unaware of is that look looks like a garden gnome. Has nobody told him he looks like a garden gnome? He looks like a garden gnome. I'm not one to criticise people's looks, but is he aware he looks like a garden gnome? Is he aware that he looks like a garden gnome? I don't think he is he? And for that reason alone, he is at number 3 on my list of idiots. Now, these 3 we've done are quite idiotic. I know people will be going, yeah, Fred Durst, it's all easy. It's easy. The next one is, I know I'm going to get a resounding response from you lot now with the next one. This is going to be a very, very positive response for the person I've got at number 2. Because you seem to hate this band. And I think your hatred of this band is based around the hatred of this bloke, who is the lead singer of this band. And this bloke is Liam Gallagher. Right? Now, Liam Gallagher seems, I think, to embody why people hate Oasis. I've done a video called Why Do People Hate Oasis? They're a guitar-based band. They play their instruments. They've sold a lot of records. They've written some pretty decent songs. They're not my favourite songs, but they're okay. Wonderwall's great, you know. Some of the early ones are quite rocky. They got some cool riffs. You know, they're keeping real music alive. They're going out on tour this year, and it'll be a massive big thing, and it might bring guitar music back and all that type of stuff. And but the problem with Oasis is they're working class. And we live in a world where people don't like the working class anymore.
What are you doing?
I am smoking a fag.
Yeah, but Capstan full strength.
That's because I'm smoking for 2.
Straight down the line, white working class people. We don't want them, do we? And Liam Gallagher is an example of it. Right, he is a common Manchester-born, Manchester-bred yob, isn't he? Liam's a yob, isn't he? And he walks around, he can't speak without swearing. He's always swearing, isn't he, that bloke? Always putting everybody down, and he's always challenging everybody to a fight, even his own brother. And the reason why Oasis, parted company in 2009, apparently it's because Liam got a guitar and came out trying to attack everybody, including his brother Noel, wielded it like an axe, right? That's what he did. And he didn't care because he's just a common bloke, isn't he? You know, he walks around taking up too much space, doesn't he? He's like this when he's walking around like this, and he knocks stuff over, doesn't he? Right, he's walking around like this, knocking things over. Doesn't care about what he's doing. Doesn't care, Liam. He's always got his big arms going. I mean, our rock stars, you know, they were much more economic, weren't they, in the way they moved? A lot of this was going on, a lot of that, if you think about it. I mean, if you want to watch Mick Jagger and David Bowie in Dance in the Street, a video that I, get so much enjoyment from, both of them, they're not taking up much space, are they? They're all here like this. They can do it next to each other. Not Liam. It's all flappy, isn't it? He's a flappy chappy. Oh. Put all this back. See, I'm a middle-class gentleman. I can walk around making a mess like that, but I have to put it back because I can hear my mum. Andrew, what you doing? You're acting the goat again. You're acting the goat. Is that the saying? My mum used to say something about a goat. Stop playing the fool. You just knock that down, pick it up. What are you doing? Stop showing off. Right? That's how I was brought up. Liam's mom, he's spoiled, wasn't he? Right? Now, none of this is the reasons why I put it at number 2. But I got to be honest, now I've got here, because I don't know what I'm going to say about these people. Now I've got here, and I have done my appraisal of Liam Gallagher, as I have just done. He has sort of gone up in my estimations. Right, his idiotness, I actually respect. I've got a list of musicians that I know I should be taking the piss out of, basically, on this channel, right? But I can't do it because I like them too much. In fact, I'm going to do that video next. I don't know what to say about them, but I like them. And Liam should really be on that list, but I know you all hate him with his big flappy arms. Now, the reason why I put he's annoying is I was looking at his Twitter looking at all the annoying things he's done. And back in 2019, he tweeted this. I've got diarrhea in Korea. I imagine South Korea, not North Korea. I don't think he had diarrhea in North Korea. I mean, I think most Westerners, if they were in North Korea would have diarrhea. I know I have, because I get very anxious in places, certain places. When I was a younger musician, I used to go on tour, I was always worried that I was going to get into a spot of bother in some sort of non-British country where they don't understand our British ways. I was always thought that I might get jailed for something I hadn't done and be locked away with rats and other people, and I'd have to stick things up my bottom to keep them safe, but I'd also have to repel other people trying to stick stuff up my bottom. My bottom would be a target in a way that it's never been a target except for my doctor, who also likes to stick things up my bottom every now and then. But this is not the point, is it? What we're talking about is Liam Gallagher here. And he was obviously in South Korea and he had diarrhea in Korea. I think he's quite funny, actually. Liam, you're all right. I'd have him on this channel. I reckon Liam acts like a twat, but underneath it all, he's okay. But that might, now I've said that, it might be that the twatishness is on the top here. And then there's an okayness here, but it is covering up a great big layer of subterranean twatishness. I think that's what we've got with Liam. And that's now I've been able to justify of having him back at number 2, because that's a complex mix of idiotness, all right? And the fact that you doubt it, and then just when you won over by him, even though he's been such an idiot, you won over by him, but just at that point when you won over by him, you're like, I don't know, if I was actually hanging around with him too much, I think he'd get on my nerves because he's an idiot. Right, now I've saved up the best till last. This bloke is an utter idiot, right? Without a doubt. And number 1, I've got Kanye West.
I see good things about Hitler also. The Jew, I love everyone. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
Yeah, Kanye West. Now, the thing I don't understand with Kanye West is he's been around for a while now. And if you were to go on the Rolling Stones 20 greatest or 50 greatest albums, or you went to another website and you go on these websites, they'll always have a Kanye West album on. And the one they'll have, it's like, it's got a pixelated picture. And if you fuzz your eyes up like this and look, it's 2 people doing something. They're doing something that human beings have to do, but we don't need it on the front of an album cover, even if it's pixelated. We don't want to know about this. But he's always pushing the envelope. Oh, Kanye, isn't he? And people will say that the guy's a genius. But it's almost like the emperor's new clothes, isn't it, with Kanye West? Because the bloke's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. He'll make a record by sampling some other record, and he's supposed to be a genius for doing that, even though hip-hop have always sampled other people's records. And then he'll boast over the top of it and be pretty offensive. And we're supposed to think this is a work of genius. He's been doing this for a number of years. And then, when it is at the height of all this hype, all this Emperor's New Clothes thing, when he's at the height of it, he then starts to be very, very erratic. Now, the first thing he did is he broke the rule of being a modern celebrity in that he didn't side with the virtue signalling left, did he? He didn't do that. He seemed to side over on the right. And he started to say all quite strange things. And within that, he almost seems to move towards a very far right position. And he starts to have a go at the Jews, right? And this is where this video comes round full circle. Because we've got Justin, Bieber, that bloke, in the Anne Frank house saying, I think she would have been a believer. And at the other end, we've got Mr. Billionaire, Kanye West, saying that he is going to go to bed and tomorrow morning he's going to bring DEFCON down on the Jews, which is what he said. The bloke's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. But that's not the reason. That's not the reason why I think he's an idiot. Is that, and this might be a work of genius, or it might be the fact that the bloke's an idiot. I just don't know. I think as we go up this list, Justin Bieber is an idiot. We know that. I think as we go up this list, we're into a much more complex area, aren't we, of idiotness. So, couple of days ago, it was the Grammys. I'm now going to have a chat about the Grammys. I'm not going to do another video on the Grammys. I'm going to deal with the Grammys here. I'm not prepared, but who cares? I'm never prepared for any of these videos. Right, so the Grammys, it came out. They're all there. They're all turning up, right? The group, the in crowd, the celebrities, they're all there. They're all a bit sad because their houses are burnt down, you know. They're all a bit sad because Trump got in and they did all that stuff. You know, they took all that money off the Kamala Harris campaign, all that billionaires' money that was keeping them going, you know, when they decided that, you know, we can't have Biden in. You can't have Biden in. Just get rid of him now. How do we get rid of him? It's the president. We're in control of the president. Just get rid of him. Get Kamala Harris in, you know. And all that. And, well, how would we get him in? How we always get him in. Get all the celebrities, pay them a ton of money and get them on stage to say it. You know, we've got them. You know, we've got all this video of them doing all this dodgy stuff. You know, they know they've got to do what they say. And so now that's the feeling. They all come crawling out, don't they? They all come crawling out down to the Grammys. And, like, who gives a hoot about them? I don't. Do you? Right, this is the Grammys. Now, as I started to research this video, I was going to do, but I'm now not going to do. Right, because it's going to form the sort of climax and summit to this video. I went through and I looked at all the Grammy award-winning albums. And the thing is, when you look, they start off in the 50s. It's Frank Sinatra. It's Dean Martin. It's all people like that. Judy Garland. People like that. Barbra Streisand. And then you get to the 1960s, you go, it's going to change now, isn't it? It's going to change. But no, it doesn't. You've got the Doors, you've got Jimi Hendrix, you've got, like, Love, you've got MC5, you've got, like, Led Zeppelin, you've got all this stuff there that, you know, you've got, like, Cream, you've got, like, the Kinks, the Who, the Rolling Stones, all this is there, right? All this is there, but it's not reflected in the Grammys for Best Album. You get to 66, it's not there. 67, it's not there. And then in 1968, it's like everything changes because the Beatles bring out Sgt. Pepper. The Grammys were so slow to recognise this. And then straight away, once they've done that, they are back to then just giving it away to, like, you know, Billy Joel, Christopher Cross, Toto. These are the greatest albums, of course. And every single year you go through going, this is a complete waste of time. They haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue what albums. I mean, even if they devoted the Ramones or Astral Weeks or Exile on Main Street or even London Calling, all the albums that I hate, I'd still respect them for it. That's the whole point. But to think in 1981 or whatever it is, that the greatest album made of that year was Christopher Cross is bonkers. Rick Beato probably thinks it is. Anyway, so the Grammys never meant anything. It's a whole load of rubbish. What the Grammys is basically you get a whole bunch of celebrities, right? You give the biggest celebrities the award, so the most famous people are going to get the award in the hope that they turn up. And then you don't have to pay them to turn up. And in the old days, us idiots who would, like, be brainwashed by celebrity would go, oh, let's watch the Grammys. And we'd sit there and go, oh, look, it's Quincy Jones. He's sat next to Michael Jackson. They got Prince over there. And look, there's Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston's there. Who's she sat next to? Oh, she's not sat next to Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey's over there. Who's coming up to get an award? Oh, I don't know. Who is it? Oh, it's the blokes from Aerosmith. You remember them? Oh, yes, they're still going. Yeah, Aerosmith, I know them. Right, that is basically what it was. And we'd sit there ticking them off, you know, like Rock and Roll Train Spotted. And that's why the Grammys existed. Now, nobody cares. I don't know anybody who watched it, right? And I don't know anybody who cares about it in any shape or form, right? So, who wins Best Album? Well, it's Beyonce wins Best Album. Is it the best album? No. Are any of the albums that they put up on the list, are they any good? No, I've listened to some of them. They're all rubbish. You know why? Because all albums nowadays are rubbish, especially the ones everyone goes out on about, right? But Beyonce wins it this year because she's made this album where one of the tracks has got a sample or loop of, like, a country picking thing. And she also then wins Best Country Album. Now, country music is no longer country music. Country music has turned into rock music. It's basically what we used to call rock music. Now, believe it or not, doing this channel and exploring into the proper history of music, I have become a fan of country music. When you go back to proper country music, right, where you got them fiddlers going nuts, and you got the beautiful pedal steel, and all that incredible Chet Atkins guitar picking, when it all comes together, right, it's an incredible thing behind quite simple songs, but decorated in an ambience of true Americana, which is based upon virtuoso skill. And within that, these incredible characters come out, and they're storytellers, whether it's Johnny Cash or Willie Nelson or Patsy Cline or Dolly Parton, right? And that twang, that thing, has basically really been like leached out of country music. Rick Beato came on last night and he goes, you know, why did Beyonce win Best Country Album? And they go, well, there's these albums. And then he played 2 other albums, and they weren't country albums either. And there's one he said was a country album. It sounded like a rock album. It sounded like an American rock album from about 1973, okay? None of the genres mean anything. None of it means anything, right? Who won Best Rock Album? The Rolling Bloody Stones? Think about it. The Rolling Stones. Did they win it for Sticky Fingers back in the old days? No, of course they didn't. Because nothing the Grammys does or says means anything whatsoever, and we all know it. Right, who won Best Performance? A track created by AI out of a cassette that John Lennon had chucked away many years ago, and the industry has decided to squeeze out that last bit of money from the Beatles by sticking it into some AI machine and making a track out of it, which back at the time, a couple of years ago when that happened, seemed quite interesting that they used the AI, and now they may as well have just gone over to Udio and just said, you know, do a song over this cassette tape I've got, and they would have come up with the same. We could all be doing it. Absolute nonsense, right? But when I woke up the following day and I put on the internet, the only thing anyone was talking about was Kanye West. And the reason why is because he'd taken his idiot wife to the ceremony, and she literally was wearing the emperor's new clothes. She literally was. And he looked like some sort of abuser trotting out his wife, who is there because she's been able to buy into some sort of lifestyle that will eventually bite her on the arse, that we could all see, because she was wearing a dress, but this dress was completely see-through, right? Now, I haven't actually seen the naughty bits because I didn't want to look, right? I saw a few things come out of it where it had been covered up with fuzz, right? So the fact that she's covered up with fuzz, I guessed that she really was in the nip, as we say here in the UK. Well, some people say it, not many people say in the nip, but I've used it today. And when I looked at it, I thought, that bloke's a twat. Kanye West is a twat. Do you think so? There's no need, is there? There is no need to hijack this total waste of time, virtue signaling, pretentious, you know, last gasp of the music industry by getting your wife to walk up and down, you know, in the buff. It's just stupid. They're all stupid, right? Idiots. Is this the top 5 idiots in the music industry? No way. They're all bloody idiots. It's just whether you like their idiotness or not. Are they a likable idiot? Or are they an unlikable idiot? So that's been my 5 idiot musicians ranked in terms of stupidness. We're at the end of the video. Like, that was 40 minutes. You see why I didn't do 10? We would have been on an 80-minute video. That's nearly an hour and a half. You could have watched a decent film, you know, in that time. And like, I'm not a proper film, but like, say, a carry-on film or something like that. And as I come to the end of this video, I'm going to pay tribute, because as I was driving over here, literally just as I was arriving and I was pulled onto the site, I heard the news that the great Brian Murphy, the great actor that played George in George and Mildred, also appeared later on in Last of Some Wine, I believe, has died. He'd worked right just up until the day before he died, or weeks before he died. He'd been a working actor his whole life, created one of the great comedic characters in George from George and Mildred. He was 92 years old, and he definitely wasn't an idiot. They're the people I respect. These are the people I wish I could be talking about on this channel. The people that I grew up with, and the people that made me happy and had a laugh with their brilliant talent and their ability to, bring real life and put it right in front of you and make you laugh at it, but also feel for these people. And that's what you had with George and Mildred. Oh, I wish I had a channel where I could talk about British comedies. I wish I could do it, but I can't. So I've slipped it in at the end of here. So rest in peace, Mr. Murphy. Loved your work. These people are all idiots. If you like this video, stick a like on it. If you want to see some more, subscribe. I've got a whole bunch of links down there below to my Patreon. You can become a free member or a paid up member. I've got my Bandcamp. You could become a subscriber or just listen for free. I've got my Substack. Again, you can subscribe and get stuff, or you can listen for free. It's all there. I also have a PayPal tip jar, and you could put some tip in if you enjoy this video there. And there's a button on the older video somewhere, I think it's over there actually, where you can press that and give us a little bit of money for doing this. And this is why I'm here doing this one, because these videos always do well. These videos do well, so I hope this one's done well. And I will move on to the next one. Thank you very much. I'm about to do, what shall I do next on the list? I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. And this will probably be coming out tomorrow. Who knows, though? I might mix it up a bit. I'm going to do 10 rock stars that should be annoying, but I love them. That's what I'm about to do next. All right, then. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.